So today, I'm going to share with you my initial impressions of the Pocket 3. We are shooting on all auto, 4K 24 frames per second. I'm also using the DJI wireless mic too, so any audio you hear will be coming out of the wireless microphone and not the Osmo itself. This by no means will be my full review, but I did think this camera warrants a halfway through review, and I have to say initially, I'm impressed. Above and beyond the stunning picture quality this camera produces, I find the ease of use really compelling out in the field. With this, I believe even if you are someone that's going to leave it on those auto settings, it's going to produce some really nice results. And when you're out here, the ability to double click the joystick, to have it flip around and do vlogging like I am now, is something that makes the experience just more on the fly and easy. I think if you're looking for a really decent image, this is something that's going to be really good for you to start out on. Now, if you have a very responsible kid or you have a child that's really good with taking care of their equipment, I would highly recommend this. You are going to spend $3,000 to $4,000 to get something comparable to this. And the reason I say that is this camera is by all means very delicate. I don't think I'd take it out snowboarding or anything like that. But if you're gonna go hiking in the woods or you're gonna tromp through the bush like I'm doing now, I'm not too worried about hurting this. But I also have this secured in multiple different ways, because I do think if you drop this from height, you could easily damage the gimbal. You 100% wanna make sure you're getting DJI care with this, because I feel like at any moment, this may fall and drop, and then I might be out $700. But since I have that DJI care, and in this case for 2 years, I'm not too worried about it holding up. And even if it does fall and break, I just have to send it back to DJI. Now, I took a whole lot of heat because I didn't really like the new Insta Ace Pro. But a lot of folks are saying, hey, listen, that's not fair. Like, the Pocket 3 is not an action camera. And while I tend to agree with them, I think for its small form factor and the way this looks, it will become a huge part of my quiver. Now, if it's not for you, that's fine. If you're simply out there just shooting, let's say action sports, then I do not recommend this camera at all. But let's say you shoot action sports, but you also pepper in things like B-roll, or you pepper in a talking head. If you're going to do that, you don't want to use something like an action camera because they all suffer from close distance focusing issues. This camera doesn't, and hopefully you can see it on this shot. And that use case, as I mentioned, is going to be all those in-betweens. If you've ever used an action camera to document things, it just never seems to go as planned. And with this camera, it's so tiny and small that I can bring it along with me, whip it out. It also has the ability to do things like time lapse. So the versatility of this camera and the ease of use between those modes as compared to something like my big Sony camera is going to provide a lot of advantages when I'm out either traveling or I'm out in the field. And I fully expect I'll probably find one or two things wrong with this camera as well. While I do love this Pocket, I would love to have an action camera if I'm honest with you, so I didn't have to bring two cameras. So for right now, I feel like the Pocket, while I do love it, hopefully it's just a stopgap, and a stopgap before we see something like an action camera that has a really good picture and does what this camera can do, but in a smaller form factor and something a bit more rugged. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, Phantoms. Well, that's been a day with the Pocket. I really like what I'm seeing. And if you like what you're seeing and hearing, please consider subscribing and liking. I'm HillPhantom. I'll see you next time.